just me starting to think about it, you know, as far as my progress, like where I'm at and, what's holding me back. And that has been the word right there that I was missing, that I needed to hear. I needed to hear that word and really to internalize it and think about how it was becoming a crutch for me, not having that discipline, not having the discipline to make sure I got up early, or not having the discipline to say, don't eat those chips, or not having the discipline to push a little harder in the gym. Like there was so much that revolved around that one word, discipline. And after you said it, I thought about it all night, Saturday night. And then I started listening to videos. I'm like, I got to do something to like really, I don't know, explore that word more. And I found Will Smith first, did a motivational video on self-discipline. And I couldn't believe everything he was saying. And, it was like a compilation of like, not just him, but other people as well. Just how powerful, I don't know, how powerful that, internalizing and thinking about that word, what it does to you when you don't have it. So now I'm like on this rabbit hole of like self-discipline videos and just listening to different things. And like the one I shared with Jen yesterday and with Corey Joe was about like choose your hard. And it does talk about self-discipline as well. But gosh, I was just like, I listened to the gym yesterday and I had to share it because I was like in the gym, like just pumping iron, like so hard because it was so powerful. Like it was just so motivating. So now I'm like, I even like play it, and my son's sitting over here and I'm like, and I play it really loud so he can hear it too, because I'm like, just listen to this. I'm like, and my oldest son came like yesterday, I'm like, you got to listen to this. And he's like, wow, like, just like, I don't know. It was so powerful. And I think it has been a point that I've missed. Like I know we talk about like, non-negotiables, but until I attached that word discipline, like self-discipline to it, it was just something I did at a check-in. Like, what are your non-negotiables? And I would write it down. But until I started to think about like myself and what I was doing to hold myself back, or, now I look at the bag of chips and I'm like, no, like, what is it that I need? I need self-discipline. I don't need that. And one of the videos I just watched was about, not taking those things away from you, like keeping them like, because you had mentioned like, get them out of the house. But like, the reality is like, I have teenage boys that this is what they eat. So I can't get it out of the house. It's here. And it's just, it's going to always be around me. But there was one particular video that talked about self-discipline and having the self-discipline to have it in front of you and still being able to say no. Like that is so, like being able to be that strong to walk away from it and have it there all the time and know that you can still say no to it. So that's what I've been working really hard on. So
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, really good. And I love that when Jen actually shared the choose my heart, and I don't know, that might have been a video like that was actually a video that I have spun off of several times. Like, in fact, I think there's some videos that I have about choose your hard, and you can choose your hard, like that's what I mean when I said choose your hard. Choosing your hard could be getting up to go to the gym, but it's also hard to lay in bed, and then that's hard too, and then have to look into the mirror. Like the way that I look at it is like, what, like when I'm speaking to your average person, I'm like, choose your hard, because it's both hard. Sitting in this self-pity place, like you guys aren't there right now, but that's a place, where you're not where you want to be. You're not that's as hard as getting out of bed every morning and going to the gym. So what's your hard?
Right.
But what the other thing that I wanted to add into this, because, we're pulling other people, and hi, Rita, hi, Lisa, we're pulling other people into this conversation, is the fact of the matter is, Joe, you had discipline or you wouldn't be where you are here today. So the word came in because, and I'm just pulling up a bit of our conversation, because you got to this place where you were comfortable. you sort of reached your goals, and that's you too, Jen. So then that's where that self-discipline, because you both had to be disciplined to get here. So it's not that you didn't have the discipline, but then hearing that word, which you both got very similar feedback to, which, you know, again, it's not my responsibility to let you guys know that you get the same, you know, but you both, if I'm being honest with the both of you here right now, you both got the same loom where I was like, no, this isn't a problem. But, you know, and I literally called out, you lack self-discipline, period. You know, that's it.
Yes.
You know, stop looking for all the fluff and asking me for answers and step up a little discipline here. So tapping into that, because you had the discipline to get here. It's the fact that you, so like, you know, talk about that a little bit. Like that's like, so like I said, you had discipline, but to this place where you're like, yeah, I can eat the chips.
Right. Yeah. And it has offered me an opportunity to really think, you know, what else do I want? Like, you know, I'm sitting at my goal weight, which actually I'm like below what my goal weight was, but you know, I've been sitting there for weeks, but what else do I want? Like, you know, this has been my week's journey, like thinking about what's my next like big goal, not just to, you know, have my clothes fit better or, you know, to have a little more muscle. Like, what do I really truly want to achieve? One of the things that I heard over and over was, you know, would you rather have reward or regret? You know, like when you're choosing like what, you know, it's kind of comes back to that self-discipline. You know, I think everyone would pick reward any day over regret. So that's what gets me up in the morning. Like, I want that reward. I want to get up and, you know, do something productive and have done things in the morning and not have any regret for missing out time. You know, nothing worse than sleeping in and then be like I could have done this, and this, and this, you know, now it's like, nope, just get up and get it done. Like,
yeah. It's so true. Some of the most successful people in this world will say that. Like, if you listen to any of motivational, like, you know, these guys that are so multimillionaires, and, you know, I mean, it's in anything, athletes, like, it's just what you said. They don't miss anything. Like, that is, they have that self-discipline. They don't look for regret. They get up, they get it done. Like, you know, you'll hear a lot of them say, I'm up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to get up before everybody else because I'm not going to have any regret. I'm going to get this shit done, you know, and that's that's the difference between the millionaire and the person that's not a millionaire. You know what I mean? Because we all have it in us. Each and every one of us could be a millionaire if we wanted to be, you know, and that doesn't mean that everybody wants to be one, you know what I mean? But we could all be whatever we want to be. So, I mean, that's huge. And you're right. It's making that decision and having that discipline. Jen, I should let you pop in on this a little bit because you've been working on this same thing. I don't know. Joe, you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah. No, I was like, she sent that to me yesterday morning and I was listening to it during my cardio because I usually like to listen to some type of motivational or meditation when I'm doing my cardio. And so I started listening to it and I completely started bawling. Because it was like several things that were happening and I didn't realize it until it came to the surface. I was stressed at work. There was like a situation at work that has just really been bothering me for months. And it just kind of came to the surface and I'd been talking about it and I addressed the issue. And so it was like I completely melted down when I was listening to this because after our coaching call on Sunday and, hearing that word discipline, it was like my moment of surrender where I realized that I was putting all my time and energy into this situation that I had already like handled this situation and done all that I could do, but I was letting it consume all of my time and energy. And because I wanted it to be the way that I thought it should be. And so like, my energy was all focused on that. And it wasn't focused on my bigger goals or what I truly wanted and what brings me joy in my life. And so when that happens, like it's just subconscious, you know, you don't realize it until you become aware of it. And I believe that's why I was snacking, and you brought it to my attention. You're like, oh, your stress level, like that's why you were snacking. That's, you know, and it is my coping mechanism, you know, like, you know, I'm a recovering drug addict. And so like drugs were my coping mechanism when I was 15, you know, to avoid, you know, my current situation, because I thought my life was so bad, coming from a divorced family and this, that, and the other thing. And so once I stopped using drugs, you know, I was smoking cigarettes, and once I stopped smoking cigarettes, then it was sugar. And so, you know, like all these things become my coping mechanism. And, you know, and they could be good or they could be bad. It just depends on how far I'm willing to take it, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I was listening to that, that was my moment of surrender, where I was like, I'm allowing myself to focus my time and energy on something that I don't need to be focusing my time and energy on. And so I was like literally bawling for the whole 20 minutes. And I didn't even realize 20 minutes had passed. Like it had passed so quickly. And I reached out to Joanna. I was like, you know what? Thank you. Like that is exactly what I needed to hear in that moment. And like today, I feel like it's a whole nother beast. Like I listened to it again this morning, and I was just like, I was pumping, and I was just in that moment where I feel like I can do anything. I can conquer anything. Like I have control over this.
Yeah. That's huge.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Nope.
So
You got there. That's huge. You know, you hold the control. It's your choice.
Right.
You hold the control. You, going back to that, choose your own heart.
Yeah. So I was completely touched. And of course I had to share it. So I've shared it with my sister. I've shared it with my sponsor. I shared it with you and Amber. Like, I was just like, everybody needs to hear this.
No,
you know, and yeah, shout out to Lisa. You're kicking butt. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, Rita, we're in the middle of something.
Thank
here.
you.
So I can say even hi. Yes. Lisa, do you have anything to add to that? She just pops it out as she's working.
Sorry, I'm trying to get out of the gym. No, I think the only thing I have to say is I love the whole discipline thing, because, you know, I don't know if anybody else is in the military, but they always, one of the biggest things that's always on all the walls is discipline is the art of doing the right thing in the absence of others knowing, right? So it's all internal. And, you know, we can say a lot of stuff, but it's are you true to yourself?
Yeah.
And I think that's been really important for me, because I found that since I've been closer with my goals, and like I see muscle, that I'm doing this little like, oh, I'll have a little bit of this, or a bite of this, or I'm cutting chicken and I eat a piece. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Like, that is like ridiculous, because it's a slippery slope,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
So, yeah.
who the hell's following me? Sorry, guys. No, that's so true too. I love that you bring that element in, because you hear that a lot too. You know, discipline is that. Who are you when nobody's watching?
Yes, exactly.
Who are you? That's discipline. Who are you when nobody's looking? Like, are
I
you?
could have a glass of wine. No one will know.
Yeah, that's so true. That used to be told to me a lot too. Like, you know, who are you when nobody's watching? Like, are you actually doing, you know, the same things that are you practicing what you preach? Like, who are you when
Correct.
nobody's watching? So that's good. That's another good piece of self-discipline.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all I wanted to say.
No, I love it. Rita, hi. We're looking at, are you in your kitchen cooking?
Good morning. No, I'm actually getting ready this morning. That's why I'm off camera. So I ran a little late. So
That's all right. Do you have anything you want to add to that, or you have any questions?
No, since we're on the topic of discipline, you know, I grew up with that from my family, and I think that's what's helped me with my mindset on this journey. and I needed somebody like you to structure it for me. I knew what I had to do, but I just couldn't figure out the nutrition portion. I was going to the gym, but I needed help with the nutrition. I didn't have that discipline. Just like Lisa said, I could say no, but if I'm at home and I have cookies or dessert or something, that's my weakness. I will have more than two, you know, because I'm like, oh, no one sees me, I can eat it. So I needed somebody like you to help give me that structure that I was missing. And it's helped me out a lot. So thank you for that. And yes, morning person, discipline. I need to get things done before I get started with, you know, work and stuff. So I think it just, everything's a positive and I see results. And it makes me want to keep going because I see it. It does work when you eat properly and obviously work out.
The magic combination.
Yes, but everything is good. I don't have any questions. I'm happy with everything. And I don't know. I don't have anything much to add to it.
Great. That's good.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
And you did. I think you were one of you had a hell of a week this check-in too.
Yeah, this past week, you changed up my meal plan and I started phase 2 of carbing. And the first week on that phase, I didn't see much of anything just because I was like, I don't know if I need that third snack. I'm not really starving or needing it. It was late at night by the time I would have it, and you revised it. And after that first week on the revision, I mean, I dropped 3 pounds because I think that extra snack, I just didn't need those extra calories. So
Can I tell you something?
what's that?
Those
It's same calories?
Those extra calories didn't go away. All I did was put them in other meals.
Oh, well, well,
Mind is a powerful thing.
yes. Well,
I'm just gonna let you in on a little secret. Those calories didn't go away. But that is a very valid point. Like I was like, and I thought you would bring that up. So she just felt she wasn't hungry at night. She just didn't really want that meal. So she was skipping it or like not wanting it. So I just simply put the calories someplace else for her and spread it out between 5 meals so she wouldn't have to eat that last meal. And miraculously, she did. She lost weight.
yeah, 3 pounds.
That brain is a powerful thing.
Yeah. So, but I'm happy with the revised. I still feel good. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
And everything's going great.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, powerful call guys. I think, you know, there's a lot to be learned around that word discipline. You know, you hear me say it a lot, and I think sometimes it takes a minute for it to click in and what that really is, because the reality is, you know, and we hear a lot of people, even, you know, you guys are all there in the beginning, there's motivation. There's a lot of motivation that gives you the discipline. The motivation is seeing yourself dropping the weight consistently. And then you get to a place where really, and that's why I wanted Joe to talk about it. And, you know, you, Jen, you get to a place where like, damn, I look fucking good, man. I look really good. You're looking in the mirror, you're seeing yourself, you hit your goals. And I don't want to say the motivation goes, but it really does, because was your motivation. And that's when, like, now that discipline has to kick in. And that's the other reason why I'm always saying you've got to have stretch goals in front of you. So, you know, as you're listening to a lot of these motivations, this is what these people are saying. Like, there's got to be something that you're always going for in the future. Like, you know, you've always got to have that one thing that you're reaching for, always putting something that's right out of your reach. Like you want it, and it's right there at the tip of your fingers, but you can't quite get it. Always having that there in front of you. And that's really what's going to drive you. And, I don't know if it was a live or if I think I talked about it on one of my stories, and like, I was super vulnerable on one of my stories, and I had to openly admit that kind of happened to me. Like, and I called it losing my mojo. Now, I mean, the difference is that I had instilled some incredible discipline in myself. And for the past few years, and I didn't even realize it, I've been going to the gym because of discipline. I was disciplined. I went to the gym out of discipline. I ate on a meal plan out of discipline, but I no longer, I wouldn't say had the motivation, but we could call it that. I called it my mojo, my spark, because that's what it felt like to me. It wasn't there anymore. I won't go into details. There's several reasons why that could have happened. I definitely still had goals and things that I wanted. And it wasn't that I had reached my peak with my competitive career as a bodybuilder, but I had some things that had happened to me that kind of like, it took a toll on me. Because that's a sport that is it's very subject to opinion, and I maybe didn't agree on the opinions that were happening, and it took a toll on me. And several coaches were trying to bring me back, and so I just kept going. But I recently realized that I had lost my spark, my mojo, and I was simply doing this out of discipline because that is what I needed to do. But it was no longer fun for me to go to the gym, which it used to be. I mean, it was hard. There were days that I would sit in my car and go, I don't really want to go there. And, sit in the gym parking lot and be like, motherfucker, I don't want to go in that gym. And I'd have to mentally talk myself into it, AKA discipline. And I would get in there. But once I got in there, I was like jacked, had a great time. And unfortunately, like I talked about in my story, God, universe, source, whatever, I'm like, I think you really could have found a better way to do this, but clearly they did not. And this process that I'm going through, where I was a little bit like, how did this happen to me? How did this come about? What did I do? Like there were moments that I had this. What did I do to deserve this? It just took me, everybody loves to come in here in the morning. I have zero idea why. It's like Grand Central Station. I'm like, please put a sign on my room that says, do not disturb. But what I recently had to get, like, stop beating around the bush, I was sitting here right before this last surgery, because I had that X-Fax on my leg, that external monstrosity that I called it, and it's super heavy to move around. And in the beginning, it was super painful, but by the end of it, like I was cruising around in that thing, more so than anybody else thought I could. And I was sitting here one day, and I realized, I woke up and I was like thrilled for the day. I was so freaking excited. I was like, what the fuck can I do today? And I was like, oh my God, this is my mojo. I lost my mojo. Like, I'm kind of excited about this journey that I'm on right now. That's weird. Why would you be excited about having a broken leg? But like, I was looking at my leg and thinking to myself, well, this is okay. This is just another thing I got to do. And fuck, I'm going to do this. This is kind of fun. This is exciting. Like, I started thinking about, I can't wait to go to rehab. Oh, damn, I'm going to show them a thing or two. Like, that's the way my mind started going. And that is what made me think about it, because that's how I used to approach working out. Like, when I started this fitness journey and I was going to compete, my goal was like, you want me to do what? I'm going to do that times 10. And that's how I would play with my coaches. Like, they would ask me to do something and I'd look at them, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that. And let me just show you what else I can do. So just a different spin on the discipline thing. I had the discipline, but I lacked the mojo. And I don't know, so there's just so many elements of looking at that. But, you know, and yesterday, you know, was a painful day, but like, I'm pretty much back to like where I was, you know, now, and I'll just keep getting better. But that mental approach to it. So it's a combination. So where I'm going with this is like, and like I said in my story, it's a combination of the motivation and the discipline, bringing it together as two. And that's what just keeps you going, and always having, you know, and that motivation piece is always having that thing, that's something that you have to. So for me, this is that thing again. So that thing before that I was reaching for, guys, was to create the ultimate body at 50. I did it. So like a lot of you guys talk about that. I did it. I didn't achieve my pro card yet, but I did that. And I started to believe like, well, that was good enough. Maybe I'm never going to get the, you know what I mean? I started letting myself off the hook. Now the new stretch thing that's out of reach is what? I got to come back. You know, I've got to, like, I'm going to prove to the world and everybody, like, this isn't going to be a year. Fuck y'all. You know, and that's the attitude, excuse my French. That's what I get. Fuck y'all. This isn't going to be a year for me. Fuck y'all. That ain't going to be 6 weeks. Fuck y'all. I'm going to do this. Like, that's the attitude I get. But it's because I've now got that reach thing. Make sense? So that's like, that's where that motivation and that discipline, boom, come together. And then you just smoke it.
Absolutely.
So
Fuck
we're
yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's our new tagline in here. Fuck y'all. Fuck yeah. We'll all be in the tribe. Everybody else will be going, what? The new tagline.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you for that. I think I needed to hear you say that. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. All 5 of us are going to be in the tribe going, fuck yeah. But that's it. And that's what I had before. So like, and so never feel like you guys are alone. There's always that. And I needed that aha, you know, too. And I'm now committed to, you know, sharing with all of you in the world, like this journey of what I'm on too, because I've realized like, this isn't just for me, this is for everybody. People have got to see me like bust through this and come out on the other side. Which, by the way, fuck yeah, I am. Watch me. Just watch me. And that's like the other thing too I get in my head. So anyway, I think it's a really powerful call, guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
So I was listening to it and I was talking about challenges and looking at challenges as obstacles instead of it being, like something that's bad that's happened to you. How are you going to get through this obstacle? What are you going to do differently to get through this obstacle? And so again, it's just like that different mindset and like how you talk to yourself, and that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to it. I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to be better than everybody else. I'm not going to let them bring me down. I'm going to be better. I'm going to do this. Like I've got the power to do this. So again, like that positive self-talk, like I really needed to hear it. And so it's really given me that drive and that motivation, like you said, motivation and discipline to reach my goals, because I do have bigger goals. You asked me, are you okay with where you're at? Because are you comfortable with where you're at? And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm looking good. Like I feel good about myself, but I have these goals that I want to reach and achieve. How am I going to get there? So
true. So true.
Good stuff.
You guys are killing it. I love it. And this is just like, and like I said, and for those of it that listen in on this recording, like this is the next level. And a lot of you guys that are on this call right now is you're there, you're in this place of I've reached my goals, and this is where you got to get, like everybody's going to get to that point where you hit that initial goal that you came, and now it's the time to level up, you know. And that's not that you always need to, you know, continue to have a coach, but like the four of you are still here because, you know, you realize like you got to keep leveling up. You got to keep leveling up. You hear that. And like, because there's going to come a point in a time where, okay, I did that. Now what? You know, and that's where that, like you guys talked about, that comfort zone comes in. And then all the old triggers start to come, you know, start to come back. And like, now you got to have that motivation and that discipline to like, what's that next thing? I see Lisa, like her brain is spinning right now.
Well, yeah, because I honestly, like, whenever I literally dread filling out that check-in sheet because I'm like, what's my goal? Like, I'm like, I don't have, where am I at? Like, what do I really want? I want to maintain, I want to stand on my head for 2 years. I don't know. Like, I really struggle with it. And you probably tell by the way I answer it because I'm like, I don't know. So I really need to maybe spend some time thinking more about it because I think it will help me stay disciplined versus like, oh, well, I can do this or I can do this. You know, I look great. I'm still under my weight. You know, I mean, Jennifer said it, it's mindset and mindset. You know, we in therapy, they're like, we use this example about like a prisoner's mindset. Why does one person go to prison and excel and get a law degree? And why does one person go to prison and, you know, become, you know, start killing people or I don't know, doing drugs or whatever, I don't know, and falling apart. You know, it's about how you think about it. And I think I've gotten a little lazy in my mind lately, and owning that and just like making a decision about what I want for me next is going to be really important, I think.
And that is the reason why, if you guys all didn't know, that question is on there, is because I constantly, so like, well, it's a pain in an ass for you guys to fill it out. That's why it's on there. That's why when you guys get lazy with the stretch goals, I challenge you, you know, to be like, these aren't good. Go back and do it again. And now you kind of know the reason why. I always want you reaching for that next thing. And I'm trying to find, hold on, guys. I want to try to find this really quick. Where's the search button on my, I just started, Lisa just reminded me, I just started following this guy. All right, write this down. And Lisa made me think about it. You want to follow Wes W. Yeah, maybe some of you guys know him, Wes Watson. Have you ever heard of him? He's an entrepreneur. He's a worldwide coach. He was in prison, and he brings a lot of his like his mindset in prison, and it reminds me of what Lisa just talked about and how he did it. He's a motivational speaker, but he's also a multi-millionaire. He's got YouTube. I follow him on Instagram. I actually got to go to his YouTube channel. But he's also a best-selling author. So look him up, Wes Watson, WES WATSON. So I know a lot of you guys are looking for YouTubes, but he's got Instagram, YouTube. He might be somebody you want to listen to. He's a little rough, obviously, but he's got a pretty strong message that he sends out. And like he was locked up for years, but he talks about like how he sat with himself in prison, you know, and he talks a little bit about that, Lisa, and how like he made a decision, you know, and he locked that in, and he came out on the other side as a multimillionaire. And the things that like the rituals and the things that he does on a daily basis that are non-negotiables in his life, because he's like, fuck it. He goes, if I don't do this shit, like this is not how I will never get to the next level. And he's always one-upping himself. So like, it's never good enough. He gets to one place and then he's leveling up, and he gets to another place and he's leveling up. I think he lives in California, and he's got like shit tons of cars. Like, and you look at, I mean, he looks like he just walked out of prison, but the man's a multimillionaire.
He's on that video.
While you're saying that, oh, sorry, just real quick, because I got to run, but have you guys heard of David Goggins? He was a Navy SEAL. He has a book, Can't Hurt Me, and then his new one is Never Finished, I think. I'm halfway through it.
It's fantastic, and he's a little rough around the edges too, but it's very motivational and just about how we're kind of limitless, and it's all about how we think, and kind of, you know, he always talks about the mental gym in his mind, and I love it. It's really, really, really interesting. So if you don't mind the F word a lot, listen to the audiobook. It's really good.
Yeah. That's the same with this Wes Watson. You better not mind the F word. He's gonna
Yeah.
spill it all over the place. What it was,
Jen.
Joe?
No, I was going to say, Jen, did you watch all the way through to the end of that? Because I think he's in that video toward the end. There's a long segment after kind of like the motivational, like, yelling and screaming from the one particular guy. There is a whole section, and I'm pretty sure it's him just based on what you're saying. I didn't catch his name, but he does talk a lot about that.
Is he like tattoos?
Yeah.
From head to toe?
And you know what? I don't even know if I saw him because I was listening to him while I was at the gym. So I didn't actually look at him, but it sounds like a similar story, just like, everything that he overcame and just like his whole mindset. It was very powerful. So but true. I think he's in there.
Yeah. But if not, guys, follow him. He's got a lot of great stuff. Cole Da Silva is another one that's really good to watch too. He's pretty rough around the edges. He does have a YouTube channel, but he's also part of Motivation. Is it called Mental? There's a whole YouTube on it, but he's actually pretty good too. But he's more straight to the point. But he came from a rough background too. But anyway, great call, guys.
Can I share one more really
absolutely.
powerful quote? Because I have, I've been listening a lot and like trying to write down things when I hear them. But this one, he talks about, consistency versus intensity. And, he says like, and you need intensity because consistency isn't going to get you a win. It's the intensity that will. So I think about myself when I'm at the gym a lot, that if I'm not pushing myself to lift more, I'm consistently going to the gym. Like that is one thing. And I guess that does come back to the part that I am disciplined. But it's that intensity where that's the self-discipline to push myself a little bit harder to say, like I'm going to intensify this this particular workout. I'm going to intensify it every single time I come in here so that I will see the gains down the road. So I thought that was really, really powerful.
That's true too. And again, that goes back, guys, to like the beginning. Consistency was key because you didn't have it.
Yeah.
So this is where I like to say, this is why that, like, again, we say, like, God damn, I hate filling out that form, Jules. But this is why, because, in the beginning, I ask very little because you have such a big, you have so far to go. So you again, Joe, you're hitting on something like, and this is so important for people that are on this journey that get to this place, because consistency is key, but you hit a nail on the point. Again, when you hit all your goals, now what is it? Because now just showing up and being consistent isn't good enough. Now you have to the intensity, because again, you're disciplined, and it goes, what you just said leads back to like my story. I was disciplined to go to the gym. I was consistent as hell. I kept and maintained, but I wasn't like, well, I still challenged myself, in those types of things. But that's absolutely true. So things shift as you go, because as you're going to develop certain habits. But if you're not continuing to reach like all these things that you guys are talking about, like you're having these like aha moments, they have to just continue to layer on top of each other, because you've already grown and maneuvered to a place where you've reached these things. So now you just have to become more intensified, more, you got to strive harder, and it, because what was once hard before isn't hard for you anymore. Now it's easy. You know what I mean? So now it's freaking easy. So now it's, and that's like, the only other thing I want to say to this is like, I was telling Joe, and even you, Jen, like you both were like, there was a piece of me that was like, I don't really give a shit that they're snacking. Like there's a piece of me that wanted to say, well, of course you're getting away with it because your metabolism has hit a point where, you're okay. And like the challenge was for me to come in and say, Joe, stop eating chips at night, because, she's not losing or gaining any weight from it. She's maintaining it. So the piece of it is, and so that's where I had to come in and say, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? Because I can say, okay, keep doing this, because you've obviously reached a point where you're, it's going to be okay, but do you want this to come back as a habit and possibly self-sabotage yourself in the future? Do you want more? Because if you want more, then, this is not the solution or the answer. Just making you look at different things, like this could magnify itself into something bigger, like Lisa left the call, but she had she figured this out in as her journey went along. And one of the reasons Lisa does not drink, like she has the ability to drink a glass of wine whenever she wants to, but she chooses not to. And one of her biggest things was, one, she's like, I don't need it anymore. And two, she's like, it's just a habit that wasn't good for me. I don't need it. I have a different outlet. And to just go back to that, like, that's just pulling in something that I got rid of, and that's kind of like where I was going with the two of you. Like, you're getting away with it because we've gotten your body to a point where it can handle that, but do you really want that kind of thing? So it's like, I don't want to slap your hand for eating chips, because there's a piece of me that goes, well, yeah, I know you're aware, you're like looking at this and going, well, Jules, I'm not gaining or losing any weight, but do you really want that? Like, was that a good habit? Is that something you want to eat rice cakes every night? Does that make sense? Like, it's not like, and that's where I say, like, you guys are like hitting this next level. And like, you're, so it's just knowing the importance of understanding of now you're at this next level, and it's like, it's time to level up. Period. Like, it's time to level up. What's that next level? So it's fun. You guys are a blast, because now I get to watch you like level up to the next level. Like, this is like the epitome of my job. Like, when you guys get to this point and you're hungry enough that you want to level up again, and you just, like, nothing's good enough. Like, now I'm ready to go next. Like that's just exciting shit. I love that.
Nothing can stop us now, huh?
No.
Fuck that shit.
Exactly. Fuck y'all. We got this.
Yep. Watch me. All right, guys. Super powerful call. I loved it. Thanks for letting me record it. I think this is going to be really good for a lot of people to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of, those that are brand new to hear this message. Rita, thanks for joining us. Always love hearing your input, and you are crushing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so quiet. I
That's
just like
okay.
listening to all of you guys and your inspirational comments. So it's all great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. All right. So speaking of that, if you guys don't have any other questions, I am going to peace out and get ready for my morning, because I'm so excited that I have very little pain, and I'm like, oh, what can I do today? I'm in that mood today, because yesterday
Love it.
What can I do today? Yesterday it was like, please just let me sleep through the day. Which my damn doctor did. She got very, very sneaky on me. Let me stop recording.